Here I'm going back to my previous guards and I'm detailing as much as possible, getting any dark spots. Before we use our clipper over comb method, we're going to make sure we debulk with the 3 guard all the way open and then use our clipper over comb. Now that we're done debulking with the 3 guard all the way open, we could go ahead and move on to our clipper over comb method and use our horizontal cuts to make it as smooth as possible. It's always best when doing clipper over comb to make sure that the hair is nice and saturated so it's easier to pick up. Now I'm using my 4 guard all the way open and I'm flicking out as much as possible. When doing a taper, you want to make sure that the edges of the taper are nice and even and smooth. If not, then the taper is going to look disconnected. Now we're going to use our clipper over comb to make it as smooth as possible and debulk. Now that we're done blending this side of the taper, we can move on to our Gold FX and make them as crispy as possible. I always start off at the bottom and work my way to the top arch using the corners of the blade. You also always want to make sure you go slow enough that the hair feeds into the teeth of the trimmer, because if not, then the hair is going to shift and then you won't line them up properly. Now that we're done with the back taper and lining up the sides, we can move on to our Gold FX and create our first guideline on the side taper. Now that we're done butting him out and shaving off his sideburns, we can move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. We're also making sure that we use the corners of the blade, since it is a small area to fade. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to our 1 guard all the way open and create our third guideline. Remember to use the lever to soften up this line and get ready for the half guard. Now we're using our 2 guard all the way open, and we're going to create our 4th guideline right on top of the 1 guard all the way open. Now that we're done creating our 4th guideline, we're then going to use a 1.5 guard to erase it completely. Now we're using our 3 guard all the way open to create our 5th guideline, and we're flicking out as much as possible into the bulk that he already has. Now I'm using my previous guards to detail as much as possible, especially between the half guard and the 1 guard. Now that we're done with our taper, we can move on to our C-cups and use our gold FX to make them as crispy as possible. Again, I always start off at the bottom and work my way to the top arch using the corners of the blade. I also like to go slower to make sure that the hair feeds into the teeth of the trimmer, because if not, then the hair's gonna shift and then you won't line them up properly. Now that we're done lining them up, we can move on to our Turkish razor and Durber premium blades and make them as crispy as possible. But of course, before we do that, we're going to apply some shave gel so that the razor could glide better. When using the razor, you always want to keep it at a 45-degree angle and stretch the skin with your opposite hand as much as possible. This lowers the likelihood of you cutting someone. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Also, if you guys want to show some extra support, go ahead and leave your super thanks down below or subscribe to the Instagram.